Thank you for joining us for Turn the Page with Paige, brought to you by Southwestern Illinois College. I'm your host, Paige Holsey. St. Louis is a baseball town, and no one knows that better than our next guest. From the leader of the St. Louis Browns Historical Society, Ed Wheatley brings us the children's book, Incredible Cardinals. The book highlighting some of the greatest Cardinals of all time and dares young Cardinals fans to dream of joining their heroes one day. We're excited to have Ed here joining us in studio. Thanks for being here again.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back. It's
okay, so where did you get the idea for this story? Why a children's book?
Well, I had done several other books. We were winning awards across the country for these coffee table books, and my publisher wanted me to do a children's book. Everybody said you should do one on the Cardinals. Well, everybody does books on the Cardinals. So I had to find something unique. And I started thinking about, well, my two sons always being at the ballpark, and somehow we always talked about the guys on the left field wall.
Yeah.
These are the heroes. These are the foundation. But they're not the current stars for most of these guys. And, you got to learn that history if you're the best baseball town in America. And these young kids today aren't into baseball like when I was growing up and playing. And, this is that history. Learn the history through making this unique. And that's what we really want to do. I mean, after all, there's so many people I talk to, young kids don't even know who Stan Musial is. It's like, we got to fix this,
You got to pass along that history.
It is. It's the history to be the best of the best.
And you kind of do that in your school visits. I mean, you have shared this book with thousands of students across the St. Louis area. I mean, what is your message when you go see them?
Well, it's twofold. This is a book that they can enjoy because it's baseball. It's a book also I found out later on that parents and grandparents love this book because it's something they can talk to their kids about and read together, and the brilliant colors inside is something they pick. But it's, the big story, the moral is you can be incredible too with hard work, focus, do the right job. But we make a fun trip through the book with rhyme and fantastic pictures.
Yeah, an important lesson, but I love what you said about it really being a conversation starter between generations, bridging that gap.
It's like a parent or grandparent might, on the section about Lou Brock, we talk about Lou Brock and Grace. I was there, or I saw Lou Brock do this, or Bob Gibson, or Stan Musial, as we spoke of. All these players, it's just, they finish the story as they read it with them.
That's beautiful, beautiful connection they can make. Okay, so this is one of 7, I think, books, if my math is right, that you have out. Okay, all sports themes, but there must be something about the St. Louis Browns and the Cardinals and just baseball in general that has captivated you to keep coming back to it.
Well, I grew up in baseball. My dad played pro baseball. I've played baseball. I'm still playing, getting ready to head to the Senior World Series in a couple of weeks. And, we live in the best baseball town in America, and it's just sports is the brand of St. Louis. We may not have always the best image across the country, but there's one thing that people can't argue: our sports is the best. So many things have been created here and so many memories, and that's what I try to do.
And we can be proud of that part of our
city.
Oh,
very much.
Absolutely.
That is the thing. That is our brand in St. Louis.
Yeah. And he's not done, of course. No. What else are you working on, Ed?
Well, I've got 3 other books lined up, but the one that's coming out shortly is we're working with Rawlings, Major League Baseball, on the history of the baseball and evolution of the glove, and the 50 greatest moments in baseball through the lens of the player and the Rawlings glove, and then we get into the gold gloves and that whole history. It'll be out next year.
And that alone is just fascinating because there's so much more story, technology, intention behind those gloves, and I think people realize on the surface.
Oh, first when they first started the game, they didn't even wear gloves. And then the first gloves didn't even have fingers covered. It was just the palms, protection, not fielding. And this whole evolution, it's just been an amazing story. We have the original things from the National Baseball Hall of Fame in there, the gloves from Christy Mathewson, 1905, to Willie Mays' glove, the great 1954 over-the-head catch, greatest catch in baseball history. We got them all these players and their stories of the glove. It's going to be an outstanding book.
Really looking forward to seeing that one come together. Okay, before we let you go, can you share a book recommendation from another author?
Well, I'm going to tell you about one that just recently I bought for all my grandkids, called A Bad Day, and it's a bit about baseball, and I think you might know the author, but it was one that, it really made me, the relationship of that book to this book, there's so much commonality of the colors, the story, and we'll find out who that author is, right?
Ed, that means a lot. You're making me blush right now. That was a great event. Ed and I got to connect over at Rawlings. Speaking of just a piece of St. Louis history
Yes.
as well.
It's always been here.
Cornerstone of baseball as well. So.
Yes, it was. I mean, that's one of the things I've written about in the past. We had the Sporting News, we had the Rawlings. St. Louis is so entrenched in baseball history and other sports, because Rawlings wasn't just a baseball producing company. Football, basketball, that was all there as well.
And then we have Ed Wheatley, who's not only documenting it, also living part of it.
Well, we make movies and have shared all the books into movies for PBS.
Well, Ed, thank you so much for joining us today to talk more about incredible Cardinals. And I want to thank you at home for joining us as well today. We hope to see you back here again for more Turn the Page with Paige.